Welcome to the Exposer. So I've seen some of the comments, and some of the comments are hilarious because Spac Nation were told yesterday that the police will not be investigating them. And a lot of people have mentioned this is the end, just give it up. They don't care about us, and basically to call it a day with the exposing now, because Spac Nation are clear if they're basically free to return to whatever they've been doing. So I have a response for this, and my response is clear and simple. First of all, we did not start exposing Spac Nation because we knew the police would basically close down Spac Nation. We decided to expose Spac Nation for a lot of reasons, and one of the reasons was to help some of our brothers and sisters. And when I mean brothers and sisters, I'm just talking about just people that we know that are good people that go to Spac Nation. The whole point of exposing was to open our eyes to see what really goes on there. We all said, even if you watch the exposing videos of PT, I mentioned in the video how PT will not go to jail because everything he's doing, he's planned it properly, where if the police was to arrest anyone, it wouldn't be him. And the only way Spac will get closed if PT or one of the senior pastors was arrested. And we knew that the leaders at Spac are getting other members to do a lot of the corruptions. Now, a lot of the things they're doing is morally wrong, and that's the problem, that's the issue. And the police do not do anything with things that are morally wrong. Now, there's definitely enough evidence of exploitation. There's definitely enough evidence to suggest that a lot of young people are living in houses with convicted criminals. So there's a lot of evidence that's out there, but the evidence is not connected to Toby. And what happens is when the police arrest or interview someone from Spac, the police are speaking to these individuals without connecting them to Spac Nation. And this is how Spac Nation gets away with it. Because Spac Nation is not a real church. Even though he has claimed he has ordained hundreds of pastors or leaders, the only people who are seriously considered by the police to be part of Spac Nation is Toby himself, possibly his wife. And that's the problem that we have. So we knew it would be hard to tie Toby to a lot of the crimes that's been committed to Spac. And even though he's heavily involved, we have seen video of him demanding his members to do some of the most ridiculous things. And unfortunately, that's not enough for the police. But the reason we decided to expose wasn't just to close Spac Nation. Of course, this is what we want to happen because we all were part of Spac Nation once upon a time, and we know that it is not a church. We walked away for those reasons. So we still have people who we love that are in Spac Nation and people that we care about. And not even just us. I mentioned there's mothers, there's fathers, sisters, brothers that are crying because they've got their family members that's a Spac Nation. And if you hear them out, you will see that there's a lot of manipulation going on. Like, why would your own child turn away from you because of a church? Why would your own child turn away from you because of a man like Toby? So we know that morally there's definitely something not right with that place. There's been a lot of proof of fraud, but it looks like the police do not really care about that. But the fight doesn't end there for us. And it's frustrating. It's not the best of news, but it's not the end. And for the people that have faith and believe, they will understand that this is not a small battle. This is a battle that will go on. It can go on for as long as it needs to go on. But one thing we need to remain clear about is that Spac Nation are surrounded with a lot of people who do a lot of illegal activities, people who do not have jobs, people who lie in false companies and things like that. So we need to know that this is not the end. Someone will probably slip up. Someone can even turn on Toby. Anything can happen. But our main mission is to try and help as many people out of that place. I know some of you guys will say, but even though some members will leave, there'll always be people that join Spac. But it doesn't matter. Because having loyal people who give Toby money is more important to him than having new members just joining him, because he knows that it's a process. So it's frustrating for them to recruit new people and knowing that they have to try and train them, knowing that there's a lot of risk in training them. If these young people are now aware of the allegations that Spac have had over their heads for a long time now, so they have to change their approach, which means it's harder for them to persuade someone into giving like before. And so the more members we help get out, the better he is. And we need to continue that. And we will not stop. This is not the end. The way that Spac Nation have been celebrating this victory in their eyes just shows how guilty they are. They literally felt like, it looks like they expected their church to be closed down anytime soon. They really expected that to happen. That's why they're celebrating so much. Out of nowhere, they all of a sudden, every SPAC member is talking. They started to do live videos again. Toby is posted and posted and posted on his Instagram and in his Twitter account non-stop. And we have to understand, this is why. They knew that there was so much evidence against them and it was potentially the end of SPAC. But for some reason, the police sees it differently. So it's something we must continue to do. We will continue. The videos might be less, but it doesn't mean we are discouraged, because we always knew this was going to be a strong and a tough battle, because connecting SPAC Nation to individuals in that place is hard. Because all these members have to say is they do not go to SPAC Nation, or they've been to SPAC but they have nothing to do with SPAC Nation. And then the police will just individually question them and not tie them to SPAC Nation. So it's a long battle, guys. Everyone is basically discouraged, but all I can say is everyone needs to keep their minds screwed on. This is not the end. If you really have faith, continue. We must continue to pray. We must continue to unite with each other. And we must continue to talk about them. And there was a comment earlier mentioning that I should stop basically talking about them now because I'm just giving them more clout. But I've mentioned a million times, it's not about giving SPAC Nation the clout or anything like that. I'm keeping them relevant. And the reason I'm keeping them relevant is because we have people there that we are trying to help get out. So if we do not talk about SPAC Nation, what are we doing about the things? Before protests were organized, people did not turn up in the numbers that was expected. And people have tried to do different things. And the support system hasn't been good. And if our way of supporting is by keeping SPAC relevant, then it at least keeps the light on them. So if I do anything wrong, they know that the whole of the world will know about it, or whoever sees the videos published will know about it. So we will continue to talk and try to help people get out of SPAC Nation, and that is our mission. And by the grace of God, SPAC will not last any longer. By the grace of God. Remember, the Charity Commission, we are waiting for their decision also. If they also decide not to pursue the investigation with SPAC Nation, then it's just going to have a different action will be required, where it may be again a protest or something. But we need to hang tight. I read in the article by Huffington Post that Steve Reed will be discussing SPAC Nation with Sadiq Khan. So who knows? Just asking to explain exactly why they decided not to investigate SPAC Nation. We've heard a ex-SPAC Nation member who was a victim of fraud come out and say that the police did not even get back to her. And she reported what happened to the police. She has proof and evidence. So something is definitely not adding up, guys. But just keep the faith going. This is not a defeat. This is not a defeat. This only proves to us how guilty SPAC Nation is. The whole church is now celebrating. Why are you celebrating the police not investigating you if you felt that you was innocent from the beginning? Why did you block, or should I say, why did you make your Twitter accounts private so you can remove every single Periscope that PT has done in the past? Why would you do that if you're innocent? Something doesn't add up. The celebration, the removal of the videos, and SPAC Nation members being told to go quiet and not talk, that tells us that they've changed their styles because they knew that what they were doing in the past was wrong. And you're probably going to see them start talking out loud right now. And you've seen the Hope Dealers have dropped a song. And this tells us everything that we need to know about SPAC Nation. SPAC Nation is an organization that takes advantage of vulnerable people, financially exploit them, take them away from their families, and have been accused of doing a lot of fraud, illegal activities. So this is not the end. We will continue our battle, guys. So remain focused.